Hi, and welcome to Industry Insights. I'm your host, Tom Betts. Today, my special guest is going to be Ian Siddall from Cardiff Theatrical Services. So welcome to the show, Ian. Thanks for being here. There we go. I'm going to start with a really easy question. What is Cardiff Theatrical Services?
Cardiff Theatrical Services is a commercial wing of Welsh National Opera. It was set up in 1983 to allow Welsh National Opera to keep their workshops and also to earn a bit of revenue from doing work for other people.
Great. And what is your role within the company?
My role is Scenic Art Manager. I'm one of the senior managers in the company, and I have everything. My job is mainly to do with everything artistic.
Great.
But I also help run the business as well.
Brilliant. And how did you get started in the industry, and how did you come to work at Cardiff Theatrical Services?
In 1978, I was walking down the street and I met one of my friends from art college, and he was working at Welsh National Opera paint shop, and he said there were jobs going, so I started off there, only thinking I was going to do it for a few weeks, and I've ended up there over 40 years.
Amazing. And so what are some of the things that have happened over those 40 years? What kind of projects have you worked on? What have been some of the big ones for you?
Well, we started off mainly doing opera, and we would do, say, 6 Welsh National Opera shows a year, and then we'd supplement it with a few other shows for other opera companies. Over the years, we've worked on a lot of shows for companies in the UK, be it opera, be it musicals or West End theatre stuff. We've done work for the National Theatre, so it's grown over that period of time. We've also done a lot of international work with opera companies around the world and other theatre companies around the world.
And do you find that there's obviously some classics in the opera? Do you find that sort of shows come around again? Have you done things more than once, or do you have ones that you're kind of hoping you'll get? Or?
Yeah, it's not uncommon to have, say, 2 Magic Flutes in 1 year or 3 or whatever sometimes. And it seems strange to me that within the UK you'd have 3 companies all doing the same show, but sometimes that just does happen.
Right, okay. And do you get to see all the shows? Like, I don't know if that's an obvious question.
Well, I used to, but I'm probably working on in the region of 30 to 50 shows a year, so I don't hardly get to see any of them these days.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And so what is a kind of, is there a kind of typical week in your job, like, or a typical month? Like, what kind of things are you dealing with on a regular basis?
I would be running everything that's going on in the workshop, briefing all my team. Sometimes I might even get down there and do some painting if we're in a real rush, but I'll also be dealing with clients, talking with production managers, designers, dealing with hundreds and hundreds of emails a week about the information that we might require to do the show, getting measurements, and then I also have to organise all the getting of materials and making sure we've got enough people to do all the work as well, and scheduling all that in.
Right. And what are your favourite bits of the job? What are the days that you look forward to the most?
I like anything to do with the artistic side of the job. You know that the rest of it I have to do as part of my job.
Yeah, of course,
but I do like that, and I do like trying to create the right kind of culture, the right environment for people to do their artistic work, and to encourage a creative atmosphere in the place. That's my key thing.
No, that's great. I guess because everyone's got to sort of thrive and sort of develop their work. So.
Yeah, I think it's really important because my role is one of a critic, and so I might have to say you have to work a bit more on that, or you might have to change that aspect of it. So it's much better if we. I can't all be me being very dictatorial. I need for them to pull out the thing that they've got creatively as well. And if it was all my decision making, it would just all look. It would be as good as I could manage, but if you're working with lots of talented people and you allow them to flower to a certain extent, you get a much bigger effect. You get a much more creative effect.
Brilliant. Well, we're gonna learn about that now. So some of the students from USW have been to Cardiff Theatrical Services in the last few days, and we've got a little film from their visit there. So let's cue it up now. Thanks.
So we're in Cardiff Theatrical Services, which is a commercial wing of the Welsh National Opera, and it was set up in 1983 to enable us to do work for other companies as well as Welsh National Opera, and also for us to enable Welsh National Opera to have a workshop, and if that workshop can then provide a bit of revenue as well, that means they could keep their workshops. And it's worked really well, and here we are, in 2019, and we're still going strong, and probably one of the most well-known workshops in the whole of the UK. And we do work for all kinds of companies all around the world, and they particularly enjoy coming to the Scenic Art department as well. So we get a lot of work through designers who've worked with us over many years.
So at the moment we're working on Phantom of the Opera for Cameron Mackintosh, and we're painting 4 cloths in all, and 2 of them we've got down at the moment, and they're both called the Don Juan, either cut cloths or cloths.
So these are test pieces for the Prince of Egypt, which is a show that's going on in London in the new year, and at the moment we're in the very early stages of working on it. One of the problems we have is the designer is in New York and we have to send him information. So what we've done at the moment is we've done a variety of test pieces. These are just a small portion of them, and we've labelled them up A, B, C, D, E and F, etc. And we've taken photographs and we're sending them to him for him to try and see whether they're what he wants, because at the moment we haven't had the actual model. All we've had is some colour images sent through. So we're just trying to get the feel of it at the moment and see if we've got the kind of textures and the colours and the degree of shine that he might want on the set.
Great, there we go. So that's your work on the Prince of Egypt. So one thing I was wondering is, how long will you be sort of typically working on one show? Like from the moment you sort of first get pitched, or you have to pitch the project, until it's sort of delivered? How long is that typical?
If it's a major project, we did Mamma Mia, the Party for the O2 Arena. That rolled over about 4 to 5 months, I think. Okay. But interspersed with that will be lots of other shows that may only be a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month or something.
And presumably sort of deadlines are quite a big part of the work as well. And
yeah, they're the total bane of my life, deadlines.
Right.
You may have 3 get-outs of a show, of 3 different shows in 1 week on one Friday, and sequencing everything to meet that is really complex. And years ago, I used to have a much more kind of laid out view in terms of scheduling. I would schedule it down to the last sort of minute.
Yeah.
But now I keep a lot more of it in my head. And if you're dealing with, say, 5 to 8 shows in the workshop and several shows on that are already out there and needing some kind of work, that's a lot to hold in your head at any one time.
Well, I'm glad you do. So when you're working on all these things, so presumably, are you aware of, like, is this a conscious thing to know about the sort of the South Wales creative community? Do you feel like connected to the universities and the film and TV projects and all those things as well?
Yeah, I tend to try and create relationships. I have done all through my working life with, say, the art colleges and the Welsh College of Music and Drama, and here at the Atrium as well. I try to sort of extend that out because it's very useful for me to have links with these companies, and it's useful for them as well because they can quite often place students with us as well to get a bit of experience.
So you have got people working within your company who have come, say, from the universities locally?
Yes, yeah. Most of my staff have come through those kind of directions, and we've currently got Francesca, who was trained in the film and TV school here, who's working as one of our drafts people. Right.
And so when someone comes in, it doesn't have to be specifically Francesca, but like when someone comes in, what are kind of the most impressive qualities, or the kind of the qualities that you're looking for someone to work with you?
Well, I think if people come in initially and they're open, they have an open approach, they show enthusiasm, they try and ask as many questions as possible, and to try and they need to show they're aware of what's going on. So the sooner they can show that, the better, I think. Because so if they can sense an air of everybody is in a rush to try and get something done, and they pile in and help.
Yeah.
That is a really good thing. It's a good sign. It's what we look for. And also if they're sociable and they're able to mix with a wide group of people who we might be employing, at that time.
Yeah. And do you have any sort of wishes for the future for the industry? Like anything you would like to sort of continue or develop?
I'd like to just see it continue to develop, because I think South Wales has become a really interesting hub for media things, and I just want to see that keep going. When we first started, we were the only sort of shop in town, really. Yeah. So now there's quite a few more. There's another 2 similar to us, and then lots of TV and film and production companies. And I think if a place becomes known for something, it becomes a kind of melting pot and boiling pot for things that happen in the industry, and it gives great opportunities for people.
Well, thank you for being such a big part of Cardiff's creative community, and thank you very much for being on the show today. It's been great to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.